doing for a living? Carpenter. Carpenter, and we know that Nazareth was a very small village, right? So carpenter, obviously, in order to sell what he's making or whatever, he would probably go to at least once a week or twice, every second week to where? To the nearest biggest town, over there to the market to sell. What is the nearest biggest town next to Nazareth? Tiberias. So why he didn't went to Tiberias? Because Tiberias was built by Herod Agrippas, and when he built it, he actually, I would say, just a moment, remember Murphy? He sent a helicopter over here, not a regular tractor. I'm not kidding. The pilot is a guide. This is a guided tour of Israel. 3 hours, they're seeing everything. So I did it a few times as a passenger. I'm not a pilot. So when Herod Agrippa built Tiberias, he just took a nice little Jewish spa town because of the hot springs and everything, which is, by the way, not so far away from your hotel, and I will show you maybe today or tomorrow where they are. And he wide it and he make it like a resort for the Romans. When he did it, he actually concluded inside the city boundary, the city wall, also the cemetery. Now, in some religion, the cemetery or the tomb itself became to be like the highlight. People are worship the tomb. Not in Judaism. You remember the 613 things to do and not to do? So among them it's also a burial. So first of all, you're supposed to bury the person at least 6 feet in the ground. Secondly, you have to build a pile of stone above it to prevent from animals to dig. And those of you who ever participate in a Jewish funeral or went to a Jewish cemetery, they saw the little stones on it, on the tomb side, right? This is to remind us that in ancient time, one of the 613 was when you walk by tomb, add another stone to prevent from the animals to dig. So today, obviously, we build it from heavy stones and concrete and everything, so no need, and no big animals as used to be over here during the time of the Bible. So one of the things is, we're doing everything that the person is not going to be forgotten, but this is not going to be like mourning on the person all the time. You hear me with okay. That means you have the Shiva, we have the Shiva. What is Shiva? Shiva is 7. 7 days, family sit together. You know what is it? Family therapy. Everything comes out. Believe me, everything comes out. And you are there, and after the Shiva, you go back to the tomb, and also on the 30th, and that's it. Once a year you visit. Don't make it a way of life. Some people are mourning all their life or their loss, not in Judaism. So in order to prevent it, how you do it? You don't say no, no, no. If you visit a cemetery, you have a long procedures to be pure again, including ashes of a red cow and everything. Believe me, it's a pain in the ass. So therefore, people are obeyed it. God designed everything for us, not for him. It's for us. He knew our nature. So therefore, cemetery have to be, first of all, outside of the city. So it's going to be like walking into it, like a distance. And secondly, all these procedures. So Joseph was a carpenter. He wanted to walk to the next nearest big city. He could not enter to Tiberias because Tiberias, as soon as the wall surrounded also and conclude inside the cemetery, the entire city is not a pure again. Means that when he's going to be back in Nazareth, you have to do all the procedures again. So he avoided Tiberias. Jesus never mentioned in the Bible that he was in Tiberias, right? So he also avoided Tiberias. So what is the next big city next to Nazareth? Capharnaum. And I would do something else even. As the one who lives now, and as the one who is a father and a grandfather, when you are a father and you're doing something, sometimes you take your child with you either to support or to show him or something. And I don't know what, I wouldn't say bet, because you don't bet on things that Jesus did, but he did escort Joseph more than once to Capharnaum, maybe to help him as a child, as a grown-up. And I will even guess that he knew Simon, the son of Jonah, Peter. He knew his brother, because as a child you don't stay with a parent all the time. You play with the other kids as well. So this is his connection over here. And he came over here. And over here is something even more remarkable, because when the Franciscans started to do the digging around over here, and they found a lot of facilities, as some we will see, they found over there a house, typical Israeli house. And I will show you what is it typical Israeli house is on some other ruins. And over there, the stucco was partially still exist. On this stucco, they found sentences who praised Jesus, of course, but also many of them were praising Peter. Now, you remember where Jesus stayed when he was here? Why? While he was here in Capharnaum? At Peter's home, right? Even healed his mother-in-law and so. So if you have one building, and this particular building also surrounded by a church, a couple of hundred years later, a Byzantine church, and then surrounded by Crusaders church. And inside you have a typical Israeli home from the first century, time of Jesus. And on the stucco praising Peter and Jesus, what is the conclusion? Peter's house. If this is Peter's house, who stayed here for 3 years? Jesus. So you actually staying on the place where Jesus really walked around over here, conduct services in the synagogues over here, and we go into the synagogue of Jesus right over here, but this is where he lived. This was his town. So this is the background of this city, and I'd like to take you to see the sites, and I will also talk about the sites over there as well.